Orders are meant to be vacated.
Yes, orders are meant to be vacated.
Oh my goodness, that's another powerful statement.
There's no...
Orders are meant to be vacated. I'm taking that home.
I am a lover and a supporter of local government financial autonomy. In fact, I want the whole local government to be autonomous.
Hello, it's 7 days into the month of November already, and you are welcome to the program, The Conversation, on Kaftan Television, reaching you from our studios in the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja. My name's Mikki Attah. I'm sitting in for your regular host, Ruben Okala, who is not here today, but we're still going to do justice to the conversation today because we have a conversationalist in the studio, and he's going to be our guest, and we are going to be rubbing minds, and you are sure to have a very good 1 hour, very productive time with us today. Now, it's time for me to tell you a little bit about our guest. Our guest is a member of the pen profession. He is also a business administrator. He is a customer service provider. He's a certified and a skilled marketer. He is, in addition to all this, a polyglot. So he speaks Hausa, he speaks Yoruba, but he's going to be conversing with us today in English. So it's my singular honor and it is my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce our guest in the studio today, who is Comrade Olumuyiwa Onlede. You're very welcome, comrade.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. I'm going to welcome you in the languages you speak. Ekabos, Sandazua, sir. And you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take a very quick time out. When we come back, we're diving straight into the matters we're addressing, which will be topical issues going on in the nation today, as well as the big one that happened internationally, and that's the election of the 47th President of the United States. Stay with us. You are very welcome back. It's still the program, The Conversations, on Kaftan Television, and I'm Mikki Attah. I'm sitting in for your regular host, Ruben Okala, and I have a special guest in the house in the person of Comrade Olumuyiwa Onlede. So, Comrade, I notice you are in charge of Aluta Media, and as a media personality, I'm expecting you to really do justice on the topics we're going to take today. Let's start off immediately with the topical issue of the miners that were in court. The whole Nigeria had the shock of their lives with that trending video on Friday, about 6 days ago, where one of them slumped. The rest had been kept starving in terrible conditions and on and on and on and on. Well, anyway, the latest is that the president has instituted a committee to look into all that went before to up to the time of their incarceration and their release. What are your expectations from that committee? Do you think we're going to get the kind of succor that we require?
Yes, I think it was an unfortunate incident for minors to be kept in custody for 2 months or thereabouts, or more than 2 months. Not even adults. The administration of criminal justice system does not permit you to keep the police, especially to keep minors for so long that way, you know. But the committee, if I may say, is not encompassing. There are people behind what those minors are being charged for: treason, for raising another country's flag within the country, which is a sovereign nation. So who are those people? Who mobilized them? Who put them on the street? Were they paid? Do they really understand what they were doing at that level of that August protest, which is the right of everybody? Even though there's going to be a protest, it is not normal for people to use minors for protest. Or maybe the idea of using minors was a predetermined idea of using minors so that they will not be able to be prosecuted. Meanwhile, the policemen that arrested them, the committee should get to the roots. But at the same time, the committee should look into the sponsors of those boys. Okay. The sponsors must be looked into, but based on the terms of reference given by the president to the committee, I don't think that is part of it. But Nigerians want to know who are those people behind them. Okay. Now, what are the people that were in charge of those people in custody? What is their responsibility? Whether you're a minor or you're an adult, what is the responsibility of the custodians to you? You are not supposed to be starved. You are not supposed to be maltreated. It is against global practices. If we are still having such in this country, then we are lagging behind. We are not where we are supposed to be. Right. Inhuman treatment is not accepted. Or even when a court of competent jurisdiction convicts a criminal, it is still subject to some huge human treatment that will guarantee him becoming a new being. You know, we've changed the name of our prisons to correctional centers. Absolutely. Let the name be what they are. Yes, we cannot just change. We cannot just bear names for the namesake. Let the practices there reflect the name. So a prison or a correctional center is a place where people are rehabilitated and put back into the society to become good citizens and become productive. Not where people are being taught to become bad or to become worse. Absolutely. Because when you keep minors for 2 months without adequate feeding, 3 months plus, without adequate feeding, with inhuman treatment,
in the presence of hardened criminals.
What are you telling them? They are not supposed to be exposed to adults that are hardened criminals so that they don't corrupt their minds, so that they don't find a way that, oh, when I come out, I will look for you, then I will recruit you into this so crime. That is what happens. If we are to tell ourselves the truth, one of the major places for recruitment of criminals is a place where they are supposed to be corrected, which is the correctional centers. So we must look at all those things.
Absolutely.
So,
and then what did you think about the issue of posting a bail of 10 million naira? I mean, was the idea to keep them there indefinitely?
I think the president has done justice. Those bails and all those have become academic exercise for now. Okay. Because the president has given a pardon. Yes. They are supposed to go home and be reunited with their parents or their guardians. And I believe and I know most of them have been reunited. Those from Kaduna, they've gone to Kaduna. Those from Kano, they've gone to Kano. Now, it is not by reuniting them to their parent, with their parents or their guardians. Okay. Now, the state governments have a role to play. The state government have a role to play so that they will tell them and diffuse their mind from every negative thoughts that must have been planted in their mind while in custody. True. So that they will not pass such to their peers within the society. True. So this is what we are talking about out of school children. When children do not have opportunity to go to school, they don't have opportunity to learn trade, they don't have opportunity to learn skills, so they will be subjected to money bags and political elites who at every point in time need people to use for their political immaculation. True. So we must, as a people, look at how to cushion the effect of this out of school children. The state governments, they have a big role to play because the children are back in Kaduna, they are back in Kano. So what happens next? That is what people will not talk about. They were in the villa for the first time. Most of them will be there for the last time. Some of them will still have the opportunity to come as staffs to the villa or as appointees of government in future, if they are given the opportunity within the society. And that role and that responsibility lies on the shoulders of the federal state government, headed by the governors. The governors should look at the issue of the welfare of those children and every other children roaming the street. Their basic education, primary, secondary, for them to know what is right and what is wrong, for them to learn leadership, for them to learn responsibility. Now, after then, they can learn skill, they can learn trade, and become productive in the society.
Okay.
But if they are left to just roam about, then we may have this kind of incident happening in the future.
Okay, well, how about a situation whereby, as they go back now, they're given monies thrown at them to start businesses, and none of this you're talking about is inculcated in them. So they probably just have a little bit of psychological check, and then there's no, like you said, no leadership training, no basic skills, no literacy training, like maybe adult literacy or stuff like that. Nothing is given to them other than, oh, here, take this money and go and start up a business. Do you think that will be adequate?
I don't
considering what they've gone through now.
How can it be adequate for minors to be empowered with cash? What they need is skill and education.
Absolutely.
What sense does it make?
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
It's completely irrational for anybody to think, okay, giving them money. Politicians can do that. Politicians can do that.
I can see them doing that, and it's going to be counterproductive.
Politicians can do that.
It will backfire.
Because once you put yourself forward for leadership, once you are planning to put yourself forward, you look at every opportunity to get sympathy of the people. You look at every opportunity to get the people to yourself.
True.
So that when you come to the ballot, people will vote for you. But what politicians don't think about, what they don't do, is need assessment. They don't do need assessment. Need assessment is what do they really want? What is even adequate for them? For now, giving them money to start up business, as minors, what business will they do? How will they manage the business? How will they go about it? So, give them money to go into business and they waste the money, they come back to the street again. No, let people be built. You can't start a building from the roof. You have to start from foundation.
Absolutely.
There's no basic foundation for them to do business and to trade in the society and become responsible citizens of this country.
Absolutely.
No. So let the foundation be there first. What is the foundation? And the foundation should be built on whether skill, acquisition, education, and basic learning. That is the first thing, not cash and not those kind of empowerment.
Wow, so I have learned a fantastic saying today. You cannot start a building from the roof.
It's not possible.
The foundation has to be laid. Thank you very much for that word. I mean, you might know it generally, but to put it so succinctly was, something that really impacted me. Okay, I think let's leave those ones alone for now. Let's keep watching, though. We, the media, will be on top of it. We'll keep watching the progress. We hope not otherwise of those minors who've been released. Let's look at another one, which the federal government was talking about, because as soon as subsidy was removed, they said one of the things that will happen is CNG buses will be pushed out to all the states, and then they're expecting Nigerians to generally convert their vehicles from the use of petrol to CNG. There's a headline in today's paper that says that 100,000 vehicles have been converted. How many are there on the roads today? That's the part we do not really know. But what do you think? Do you think the federal government is prepared for it? Is there adequate CNG? And how about safety measures? Because we don't know, are they going to be very combustible? Because petrol already is, but I mean, we have very few fire incidents from people filling their cars at the filling station. Are there safety measures in place, one? And do you think the government is prepared with adequate supply and affordable supply? What do you think?
I think the word affordable should be expunged from our conversation, because for now nothing is affordable.
Oh my goodness!
Even water is no longer affordable when it is bottled. It is no longer affordable. The only water that is affordable now is tap water. So whatever price you fix, it's not going to be affordable because things are really hard and people are living from hand to mouth, But let us talk about the safety measures. CNG, compressed natural gas, is something that is new in the country.
True.
Now, we have people that are trained to convert these vehicles, to convert petrol vehicles to CNG. Now, how best are they trained? Do we have capable hands? If we have, then we have shortage of those capable hands, because as far as Abuja is concerned, maybe around Lugbe also, where we have a conversion center, I think the queue is just too much. The queue is too much, and people have to wait for months for it to get here to their turn before they can convert their vehicles. I have personal encounter with people that want to convert, but they don't. The thing is not readily available. The kits are available, I think, but the workers, the skilled workers to do that, the manpower is not readily available. So people have to wait for a very long time. Oh, no. Now, why don't we have more people trained? Since I think NIPCO, this Indian company, is into it fully. Why don't we have more people so that all their retail outlets will be CNG conversion center, and they would dispense CNG, because we cannot go back to the same problem if we are not careful and build a solid foundation for that CNG. CNG will become like petrol, PMS, because what we do is we just look at how to bring something. The sustainability is what is always lacking in every of our policy. How do we sustain it? Because if PMS is no longer in vogue for marketers, they will definitely shift to CNG. Then the price goes up again. So where do we now go to from there? Now, we're looking at conversion, the safety measures. Once, according to what we are told, and according to my personal encounter, once you patronize the accredited outlets, then the kits should be original. Okay. But we are told that there are kits that are locally manufactured that are not up to standard in circulation, that are cheaper. Because I think CNG kit now and conversion goes for like 700,000, 600 to 700,000, which is on the high side for people of this country right now, unless for a few that benefits from national cake. Now, what is the state government doing? We cannot leave this policy in the hand of federal government alone. The state government should do something. Local governments should do something through the chairman, through the executive. The state government should do something through the Ministry of Transportation within that state. Rolling out CNG buses for transportation is one thing. Then subsidizing for private car owners to get their vehicles converted is another thing. I think Access Bank has a scheme that will make you pay for instrumentally for a period of up to 1 year. That is a very good one, because our problem in this country is when you have to pay outrightly for everything at a go. Yes. It's not done anywhere in the world. The first world war countries that are economically viable, where people have jobs readily available, they don't pay outrightly for things. They pay instrumentally. Now we are struggling, third world countries, struggling. Then the citizens are made to pay outrightly for things. It's not done anywhere. Yes. It's not done anywhere. It's not convenient. It's going to be it's not going to be cause the people pain.
More pain.
Because you know, you have a car already.
Yes.
You have a car already.
Yes.
Now, some of these people bought their cars. Some of these taxi drivers, let's look at taxi drivers for example. They bought their cars not more than 1.5 million naira when they bought the cars some years ago, before dollar became what it is now. Now, you are not saying they should use half of the money that they bought the car with
to convert
to CNG.
So when are they going to even buy the CNG?
So it is not a good thing for us to bring policies, for the government to bring policies without deep thinking, without deeply looking into it, and look at the cost effect on the side of the people. The cost effect on the side of the people. The government is trying, doing a lot to bring these kits. And I think the government announced duty-free importation for those kits. That's a very good one. But how best will it bring down the price of those kits? That is what we are here to see.
Yeah. Oh, talking about this duty-free, it even reminded me of another thing, because early on we were told how there's going to be a moratorium, or I think was it like a 6-month period, where cheap imports of food was going to come into the country, and then you'll be able to buy rice, like as they said, 40,000 naira a bag. But as I'm sitting here, I don't know anybody that knows somebody
We have not seen.
happens to know
We have not seen the effect. We have not seen the effect.
Bought rice.
We have not seen it. We have not seen the effect. That is what I said. That just bringing policy without following into the letter does not make the policy works. You understand? There is strategic management. When you bring a policy and you are executing it, you get to a stage, you check how the success of the policy. Absolutely. If it's not working, then you go back and re-strategize. Yes. That is the way it works. Because Nigerians are great people. The business people are great people. Those in government are great people. The citizens are great people. Now, why I'm saying this is because once you bring policies like that will make things become cheaper, then there are people always looking for a way to make sure that it doesn't work. We mustn't deceive ourselves.
True.
You know, like Lucky Dube said, he said, when people are trying to solve problem, there are other people trying to make sure the problem is never solved. And that is the nature of our people as Black Africans. That is our nature. So you must be on top of your game. You must be ahead, because it's just like competition between the government and those people. You are the regulator. The government regulates businesses. You are the regulator, so you must be on top of your game. You must be ahead of them, so that you gain competitive advantage over them. Not that their business may not thrive, but so that they may not exploit the people, so that they may not benefit from duty-free and still pass the cost of paying duty to the people, to the consumers. So it doesn't make more sense for government. And most of the times, government officials compromise. They connive with these people they are supposed to regulate to make sure that the policy does not work for the benefits of the people. And that is why once you have people monitoring a policy, you must have other people monitoring those that are monitoring it.
Absolutely.
So that you have layers of check and balances.
True.
Before you can get what's the kind of result that you really desire.
Right, because as at now, I mean, there's no need deceiving ourselves. The result has not yet been ascertained. And somebody who went shopping last week said they bought rice for about 107,000 naira a bag. And with a minimum wage of 70,000 naira still not fully implemented, right, even up to the FCT that we're sitting in, has not yet implemented it. And 70,000 naira as at today in Nigeria is paltry. It's not even enough. And then you're going to take double that to buy rice. When are you going to buy oil, stew, chicken, meat, Maggi cubes, and the
transportation,
rest?
Accommodation, school fees,
and then
every other thing.
To even ask you, what is it that's holding the governors back from paying the minimum wage?
Ever since the inception of this country, we always have problem with the federation units, the governors. Some of them will implement, some of them will sign it into law, but they will never implement. That is the problem we'll be having. Some of them will even implement before federal government start implementing, like Edo State.
Yes.
I think they implemented. I think other states, there are some few states. Even the 30,000 that was the law before this 70,000 minimum wage, so many states defaulted. Kano State defaulted, Abia State defaulted, and some other states, they defaulted in that payment, which is not good enough. Because the first thing a governor should look at after security is the welfare of the people. And who are the people directly connected to the government? This is the public servants, the civil servants. once a civil servant gets paid handsomely, as a man, he patronizes his barber frequently. He patronizes other things. A woman patronizes her hairdresser, her stylist. They go to the market often and often to buy things that they need. So, those market women, they patronize other people too because they are being patronized by the civil servant. So it's a chain reaction. That is, and any economy is being driven by small-scale businesses. And that is why we have a problem with lack of local government autonomy. Because before this local government autonomy the judgment was passed by the Supreme Court, we had virtually dead local government system. So because of that, we have rural-urban migration. Rural-urban migration. Even those that worked in state capitals and federal capital territory, after retirement, they are afraid to go back to their villages because they will not rest.
And because no basic amenity whatsoever.
Nothing. So we need every layer of government to be on top of the game before we can be pulled out of this economic program. We need every government official, elected, appointed, public servants, to jettison every issue of personal interest and work for the country, work for your state, work for your local government, work for the betterment of the people. Because you cannot, a day will come, the rich will not be able to sleep because, not because they don't have money, but because the poor will not be sleeping. And not because the poor does not want to sleep, but because the poor will be hungry up to the extent that they won't be able to sleep.
A hungry man is an angry man.
And the rich will not be able to sleep because the poor are not sleeping.
All right.
So we are praying that things will go as planned. So many people will come into mainstream CNG and our dependence on PMS will reduce drastically because PMS at 1,000 plus is unreachable for the masses. And that has affected transportation, it has affected cost of living, it has affected food, it has affected health, it has affected everything.
Every facet of life in Nigeria.
So if we have an alternative that will go for 250, 300, I think that will go a long way in cushioning the effect of this hardship. And we are talking about vehicles, private individuals, and other buses. We are supposed to be talking about long trucks conveying goods from one place to another. How is their conversion? How feasible can we get them converted to? Because AGO is also very expensive.
Very.
And the cost of that AGO will be passed to the consumers.
Absolutely.
So we must look at all those things. There must be a synergy between National Union of Road Transport Workers and the government, between road transport owners and the government, because every union within the transportation sector should approach the government with strategies that they think will help the government. I think the president will listen. I think the present government will listen. They should not wait for the government to generate the idea. They should generate idea on how to liaise with the government to convert most of those trucks to CNG so that the cost of moving goods from one place to another will reduce drastically, at least by 50%. And I think that will go a long way in solving the problem of hunger in the land.
I want to tap into your optimism because it has never been my experience since living in Nigeria. Once prices go up, they skyrocket, then they come down marginally and hang there until they climb again. I've never experienced where these measures happened and never in my life. So I want to tap into your positivity and your...
It's very possible. With the right strategy, it's very possible.
Alrighty. So yeah, like I told you, he's a strategist. And like you say, with the right strategy, all these things are possible. And also with the right leadership and also the political will to do things. Because as a matter of fact, if we step up to the plate, like you said, every tier of leadership, presidency, national, state, local government, get things working the way it should be optimally, Nigeria would actually be a much better place to live in anyway. Let's take a short break at this point and we'll come back again with the conversation. Don't go anywhere. Glad to know you're still there with us on the conversation on Kaftan Television, reaching you from our studios in Abuja. And we have an erudite, brilliant conversationalist with us today in the person of Comrade Olumuyiwa Onlede. Comrade,
thank you.
I have some more questions for you before I let you go. Okay, now you noticed today we had this news that the court had stopped. This is a court in Kano State that had stopped the AGF, the RMAFC, all of them from withholding local government funds from the 44 local government areas of Kano State. Contrast that with what happened in River State, where there was a court order from a court in Abuja asking that all funds, this is even at state level, should not be paid to the River State government pending when some crisis resolved at the State House of Assembly. I find it a bit contradictory, but I want to find out, what do you think?
Orders are meant to be vacated.
Orders are meant to be vacated?
Yes, orders are meant to be vacated.
Oh my goodness, that's another powerful
there's no...
Orders are meant to be vacated.
Yes,
I'm taking
yes.
that home.
I am a lover and a supporter of local government financial autonomy. In fact, I want the whole local government to be autonomous. In fact, I want INEC to start conducting elections to local governments, just the way they did in 1998, December 5th, historically, 1998, where the person, former President Olusegun eventually emerged the president the following year, lost his local government to opposition party. That is democracy. That is democracy. But we have a situation right now where, as a sitting senator, as a sitting House of Rep member, as somebody who has not left the village for 30 years, a state electoral commission conduct an election into a local government, and you cannot win even your polling unit and your ward. Those are no elections. And people clap for those kind of elections and congratulate the winners, the perceived winners. It's not done anywhere. Our democracy cannot grow that way. We want a situation whereby INEC will conduct elections into local government so that smaller parties, as they are called, can win election into councillorship and chairmanship of local governments, so that from there people will see their performance and give them opportunity to present candidates to House of Assembly, and give them opportunity to go to Senate and House of Reps, and give them opportunity to become governor one day, so that INEC will not have to go through the rigors of the listing political parties because they don't have representatives anywhere. So now, having said that, I am not also a fan of withholding funds of local government for now, because what we are experiencing as a people now is not something that we can continue to talk about. The hunger in the land is too much, and withholding those funds will create more crisis, food crisis. People will not be able to, feed, and money will not go around. So now, what I am suggesting is, let monies be released to local government. Let them be monitored. Let those funds be monitored. Whether elected local government chairman will have the mind to transfer those monies back to state governors or through any proxy, then the AFCC has a very big job to do. Then ICPC has a very big job to do. NFIU has a very big job to do. Because what I know, as far as local government is concerned, is as executive chairman of the local government, you have no immunity. So you are very close to the people. The people should hold those elected chairmen accountable. Absolutely. Let the monies be released. Absolutely. It is a welcome development for that order to be vacated. It is a welcome development because it will only compound the woes of that state. Absolutely. If local government fund is not released to them, we have 44 local governments in Kano State. Absolutely. You understand?
And then we have people who are on pension from that money.
From that money, we have people, civil servants.
Some of these laws,
we have civil servants on those salaries. If they are not paid, how would they patronize?
You just withhold them for political
the food sellers. How would they patronize? So now let the monies be released. Yes. They have elected officials. Let them be monitored. Let the fund and the elected officials be monitored. Let their spending be monitored critically. If the ICPC and the NFIU and EFCC, if they are short of staff, they should recruit more staffs to look into those things and monitor those things. And there must be monitoring of those people, of the monitor. That's so that they don't compromise. Yes. So that they don't compromise. Because what we are saying is not for the pride. Anti-corruption war is not for the pride of the nation. Anti-corruption war is not for the please United Nations. Anti-corruption war is not to please international community. It is for the survival of the nation. If we don't fight corruption, the nation may not survive. It is for the survival of the nation. When they fight corruption in America, their own corruption is too minimal that it will not bring down the nation to its knees. They are fighting corruption based on the integrity of the nation, based on their pride. We are not fighting corruption here based on integrity to say, oh, Nigeria is a clean country. No, we need it to survive. We need it to survive. Go to our hospitals, go to our schools, dilapidated hospitals, no drugs hospitals. When you bring a policy in hospitals, the people there will still look for a way to collect money across the counter. Those things must be nipped into the bud before this nation will survive. Revenue leakages. Is that what you want to talk about? Revenues are leaking everywhere. What people within the system are making a lot of money. The agency is poor. We have so many agencies where a director in an agency has a building that is renting out to the agency where he works. He made the money from the agency, and the agency does not have money to acquire that property, such properties. So they have to rent or lease from a staff of the agency. The staffs are rich, the agency is poor. How on earth can you run a nation like that? How on earth can you run a government like that? It's something else. It's something else. They fix the price for those lease and those rentage. And if you look at those prices, they are very exorbitant.
They're enough for you to put up the building, 2 of the buildings. So at the end of the day, that agency uses all its money to lease the property it stays in, and that then does no other work. Yes. Spain. She said she met a dilapidated, horrible building that wasn't even worthy of being called a Nigerian embassy.
She had to stay in the hotel for
a whole calendar year.
And if you look at how much money was voted for that building, you will pity Nigeria.
In forex, because you're not going to send naira across.
Yeah, you're going to sell foreign currency.
Oh my goodness.
So what are we doing to ourselves? What are we doing to ourselves? As citizens, we must even jettison the idea of personal interest. Let the interest of the nation come first. When the nation is good to go and in progress, when the economy is progressing, then everybody will be happy. But the idea of stealing a lot of money as individuals to make yourself happy, where people around you are not happy, then at the end of the day, those that are not happy around you will make you unhappy.
At the end of the day.
That is it.
And that day is coming very soon. Okay, thank you very much. For me, I totally agree with everything you've said. I find it reprehensible for people to be placed in positions of authority. In the first place, everything is at your beck and call. Why are you still stealing? Everything is available for you. It's the common people who struggle to buy the cars that go to the filling stations to buy. Yours is, I mean, a free car, lovely Jeep, house, everything is available free. You understand? And you could still steal. That was why it was very painful, the last sets of ministers of humanitarian affairs. I mean, for goodness sake, that money was for the poor ones.
I think there is a plague. There is a plague within that ministry. And I think the system, it is not now the ministers. That is where people look at things. But I tend to look at things critically. There must be a system an instituted corrupt system within that ministry, be headed not by politicians, but by public servants and civil servants.
Right.
Then when you are appointed to be the minister, they sit you down and expose you and lecture you and tutor you on how
to go about the business.
About the business
and
of
you
corruption.
agreed.
And
you agree
to it. You agree to it. Then, before you know, the whole of the media is awash with the news of.
And you never remember that the clock will stop on your table. So now, the whole civil servants organize it. Now, but you are the one that's on the firing line.
Now that we have a new minister, I think the first thing is to dismantle the ministry. Absolutely. The directorate, everybody should go to other ministries. Go to other ministries.
Yes.
So that let's have new people.
Yes.
From different other ministries.
Absolutely.
So that let's try. We can't continue to do the same thing.
That was what Justice Amina Augie did when she said as soon as she came in, she saw so much corruption in the judiciary.
And some of them, they've been there for 25 years.
Yeah,
and she was even warned. She was warned not to tamper with them. She was there. She said no. She did it and the thing worked.
It worked.
Maybe there are other places where other people try to do it and it didn't work. Now you've understood it, those that did it and it works. Those that did it and didn't work. By the time you merge them together, you get headway. That ministry must be dismantled from head to toe. The ministry must be, the Ministry of Interior must be dismantled. The cabals within the ministry must be dismantled. For this minister, if this minister really wants to work, because where we have the major humanitarian crisis is the north, and he is from the north. The ministry was formerly headed by somebody from the south. Now, maybe she doesn't understand what the north is going through. Now we have somebody from the north. You should understand what your people are going through, and you should work tirelessly day and night to cushion the effect of the suffering that is going on in the north. We have humanitarian crisis because of Boko Haram insurgency. We have humanitarian crisis because of bandits that do not allow people to go to their farms, and bandits rustling their livestock, taking them to the bush for consumption. Now, let the ministry look at all those things. And we have somebody from the north who vied to be the governor of his state, Plateau State. No, he must have an idea. If he fails, definitely he plans to fail. Not because he doesn't understand, but because he wants to fail.
Plan.
Yes.
Fail to plan to fail. Okay, we're really running out of time, so we'll just quickly go over to our next topic, and that is the event that took place yesterday, which is generating news all over the world, and that is the election of the 47th President of the United States of America. The Don has done it again. Talking about Donald Trump emerging as the winner, as the president, as the legitimate occupier of the White House in a couple of months. And as of today, world leaders across the world are phoning, congratulating him. We have President Joe Biden, the sitting president, who has called and not only congratulated him, but has invited him over to the White House for them to have meetings for the smooth transition at a very soon-to-be-determined date. Incidentally, President Joe Biden has also called his Vice President Kamala Harris and congratulated her on a very good run. We also have presidents from across the nation. We have the Nigerian president, President Bola Tinubu, has called and congratulated Donald Trump. And other people, in fact, from Nigeria, we have His Grace, Archbishop Imaisong, who is the National Publicity Secretary of the PFN. He has also called and congratulated President Donald Trump. So, I mean, congratulations are pouring in. We're expecting him to come in with all systems up. I want to ask you, what are your basic expectations about his, his initial takeoff? What do you think? What do we expect from Trump presidency?
Number one, I want to congratulate President Donald Trump for his historic victory. I knew he was going to win because it is obvious that Americans are not ready for a female president. Sorry to say, but it will come one day, but I think not now. Number two, there are so many other factors that worked against the woman, and I won't want to talk about them. But Americans had to choose between two. It's not as if Donald Trump has a very clean record. based on what happened 4 years ago at the Capitol and his supporters invading Capitol. And about, having said that, I think that is becoming the 47th president, just after he's the second president to lose an election and come back again after early 80s or so. What we expect, number one, you know, ruling America is all about foreign policy. That is what will determine whether you are a successful president or not in America. Foreign policy, how you are able to deal with the whole or the rest of the world. We want peace
in the Middle East.
In the Middle East. We want peace between Israel and Lebanon, Israel and Palestine, Gaza. We want peace between Russia and Ukraine. Unfortunately, he's an ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump is an ally of Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. So, unofficially, you should be able to talk to them to jettison those wars. I think it is enough. We want peace because those wars has affected every country negatively. This food crisis we are seeing is as a result of those wars. And we can't continue like this because it started from Israel and Palestine, Gaza, and later Lebanon, now Iran. So we don't know where it is spreading to. But before then, let President Donald Trump come, just the way he promised, his campaign promise. There's going to be peace. He was even talking about Muslim community in Michigan, supporting him. He said they love him and he loves them. That, you know why they are supporting me? I'm quoting him now. Because they want peace. They don't want war. I think everybody now wants peace. Let there be peace in the Middle East. So that no matter what your buyer is, because I know for sure that Nigerians, it's either you are supporting A or you are supporting B. But whatever party you are supporting, let there be peace. Everybody will feel the negative impact. Whatever party you are supporting, whatever party is winning, it doesn't matter. Everybody will feel the impact. And everybody is feeling the impact. The whole world is feeling the impact of those wars. So, let there be peace. That is the first task I want him to do. That is the first task. And the issue of Vice President Kamala Harris congratulating him and President Joe Biden congratulating is a norm. For a very long time, it has been a norm, but for 2020, when President Donald Trump, the president-elect now, refused to concede. Now, his opponent has conceded. That's a lesson that he must learn. That's a lesson that he must learn. You defeated somebody before you came in 2016, then somebody defeated you in 2020, you should be able to concede defeat. And that is alien to them, to their democracy in America. It is normal there for you to call the winner and congratulate the winner so that he can face governance squarely. You don't have to go through the 1 year rigors of litigation, going to court, you will be removed, you will not be removed, you have bribed the judiciary, you have not bribed the judiciary. Those things have disadvantages, have negative effect more than the positive effect that they have. So I congratulate Americans. I congratulate both the winner and the loser. She still has the opportunity to contest in the nearest future if her party found her worthy of their ticket again. And they should support smooth transition and also support the president when he eventually comes in for a second term and final term in office. They should support him to see that most of the things they couldn't do because Kamala Harris is the vice president, Joe Biden is the president. What they couldn't do within their tenure, they should support Donald Trump to do it better the way it's supposed to be done. I appreciate the system in America where once somebody wins, the other person congratulates. But in Africa, everybody wins the election. Nobody has ever lost. Everybody wins the election. We have never accepted, even in football, we have never accepted defeat. We don't accept defeat in football. It's always, so a penalty was supposed to be awarded. That is not only in politics. Africans do not accept defeat. And we must always know that going into any competition, going into any election, only one person will emerge. Only one person will emerge. Only one person can emerge. And when that person emerges, it is now the duty of those that lost to support the person that has won.
Yes.
So that if you really know that your aim and idea of going to that office is to serve the people, then you must support the winner to serve the people better.
Right, because once you emerge a leader, you're a leader of all.
Yes.
You're not a leader of your party, you're
Definitely.
not a leader of your clan or whatever, you're a leader
Definitely.
of everybody. All right, thank you very, very, very much indeed for your perspectives on the many topics that we've chosen. You've done justice to each and every one of them. It's been a pleasure having you on this program.
It's a pleasure.
And I trust if we invite you again, you will oblige.
Definitely, if we are available, we will always honor your invite.
Thank you, because it's been totally interesting for me, I'm sure for a listener, to have had all these insights from you. Like I told you, our guest today has been Comrade Olumuyiwa Onlede. He has been, like I told you, so many things. I mean, we can't go into his CV right now, but he has assured us that he's going to come back anytime we invite him on the conversation, and it will be a pleasure having him back. I think my final word would just be to say my own chip in, my little congratulations to the 47th President of the United States, President Donald Trump. And I wish him a very successful 4 years, because this is now going to be a non-back-to-back term. And for you listening, thank you very much for staying with us. Hope you enjoyed the program. Join the conversations next time the next edition comes on. But for now, continue with the rest of our programming on Kaftan Television. I'm Mikki Attah. Bye-bye now.